learn all about controlling them and all that kind of stuff. And then in April, what's going to happen is we're all get judged. And Saturday is when the big show starts and everyone comes to see all the flowers. And it was thrilling. It was the adrenaline, the excitement. It was the best thing to be part of. It was brilliant. Let me talk to you about the bulbs then, because you remember I said there's all the standard questions.
Are there specific kinds of bulbs that they would want you to grow, or can you choose?
Is there any particular varieties of daffodil that are better suited for showing?
This is a brilliant question then, the whole thing.
High society. They look really nice as well.
So did you just see that last clip? So do you remember a way back, I think it was the end of May, I went to Scone Palace Garden Fair. I bumped into Eli and Kate and I was so starstruck, you know, because I had just watched their video that morning of them going to the Scone Palace Fair last year. Well, it was Eli I seen first walking past, and of course I was like, that's Eli, and she stopped and then we had this really lovely conversation. Kate was there too and they were just so lovely and I was just so starstruck. But that has grown arms and legs now. I went and got myself signed up for the Royal Caledonian Horticultural Society, their spring show. You can grow your bulbs to show and possibly win prizes like trophies or rosettes, or like just even like the wee tickets to say you're first, second or third. But although it's amazing, it would be amazing to win, but I doubt I will. I really couldn't imagine being able to win. But I really think it's even just going to be so much fun just taking part, speaking to everybody, getting other people's expertise. So I'm going to be growing daffodils. I think you can grow all different things like tulips, hyacinths, that sort of stuff, but I definitely think I need to keep it simple because this is my first time. I actually don't even have that much knowledge at all about growing bulbs. Usually I just buy them, plant them, and they come up. I don't even know like timelines properly. I know they're spring, but sometimes I've had mine coming up in January. The show is actually on the 4th and the 5th of April 2026. So I went back on my phone to look at all, because I take photos all the time in my garden. Every day I'm out taking photos of something, and not one on the 4th or 5th of April of daffodils. So I don't know, we'll see. But anyway, apparently I think there's a bit of a science to that. So Eli is trying to get a big group of people to enter the show, and I'm one of them. So I feel really privileged that she got in touch. It's been so far just really interesting because, as you've seen, I was watching her video that she's just put out and I was honoured to be in it. A wee clip. My acting skills are finally being discovered. The actual show, the spring show, is on the 4th and the 5th of April and it's in Saughton Park, Edinburgh. So as Eli has been saying, anybody that wants to come along or they want to enter, that's absolutely fantastic. The more the merrier. If you think that you're, well, I can't do that, I'm not experienced enough or knowledgeable enough, I have just about zero knowledge of growing daffodils and I'm going to give it a bash, because even I think it's just nice to get involved with like people that have got the same interests, and because I don't always have someone to talk to about my plants or growing things. I mean, my family do their best, but it's a shame, like they're really, I don't really think they're that interested. But anyway, yeah, so 4th and the 5th of April, Saughton Park. You go along on the 4th, which is a Friday, and that is when you stage your flowers. Now again, I have no clue, but after watching Eli, she said that people are so helpful. People that have been there and done it, bought the t-shirt, they're all there helping, sharing their knowledge, which is really, really good. I think that's going to be amazing, is just to get this knowledge from people. And on the 5th is when, I think that's when the judging takes place, and there's like the actual show, apparently there's stalls and everything, so that would be a really, really nice day. So I'm going to go through like the wee sort of timeline that I've seen on Eli's video. So apparently August is the time to plan what bulbs you want to grow. There's a lot of divisions, and it's to do with the types of bulbs that you grow. I'm going to be concentrating on 1, 2, 3 and 4 because they're more of the sort of simpler ones, I think. So division 1, honestly you would never have known there was so much. I did take notes. Division 1 is a long-nosed daffodil, and the nose has to be longer than the petals. Division 2, petals longer than the nose, but not just as long. And then the third one, I think it has like a shorter nose. And then the fourth one is doubles, you know, like your more frilly looking ones. So I'm going to try and have one hopefully for each category. I've already started. I got these from the garden centre yesterday, and they're called High Society. So anyway, High Society, I really like the colour. I really love these pale ones, and especially with the brighter pop of orange in the middle. And then I really love this one, King Alfred Select. And it looks like it's got a really big sort of trumpet nose. So loving that. And then I've also bought Dutch Master, which I think is Division 1. And then Double Mixed, which I think is Division 4. And Precocious is number 2, I think. And Sinopal is number 3. So that's like 6 different varieties I've got so far. I'll probably end up buying a few more because I always like to buy new fresh bulbs.
So, that sounds like you've actually got some really quite cool daffodils. And I like that what you've done is you've not just gone with one from each division, you've put a bit of thought in and you've given yourself a couple from some. So you've got options and you've got the chance to mix them up, which is cool. But also, let me put this down, you've got a couple you're growing that I'm growing as well. I don't know if you realised it, but Dutch Master, you've chosen that one. So I'm growing that one for the first time this year. I've chosen that as well, which is quite cool. But also, the mix you've got, that mix, I got the same one last year, and it's at the side of the house in the garden that Kate calls Eli's bit in the side. But, apart from the fact they're awesome, I love them, those are actually also named varieties. Farmer Gracie just sell them as that mix. So in that mix, I think you've got 3 in there that I've got, because I've got the same mix, but there is Tahiti, Replete, and Kiwi Sunset, I think it's called. However, Tahiti and Replete are some of the ones I actually put in to the competition last year, and I got firsts. They're actually just grown out in the garden at the side of the house, in the bit that Kate calls the bit on the side. So yeah, so we've got at least 2 the same.
Hello there. Well, I have to say I'm really impressed with the selection of daffodils that Sandra's made for the show. I particularly like the daffodils where the petals and the trumpet are different colours, so you get a really nice contrast there. And in fact, I've got a number of similar but different varieties of daffodil that I'm going to be taking on to the show that look the same, you know, that have maybe white petals and a yellow trumpet or whatever. And I think they're really distinctive and should do well, hopefully. I also like, I think it's King Alfred that you've chosen, Sandra, where the petals are really quite distinctive. They're quite long and delineated, so they're not sort of all melting into one. And I think that is quite striking. So good luck, and I look forward to seeing the daffodils as they bloom, and of course on the day of the show.
But something that Eli was mentioning was that out of all the bulbs that she planted, a lot of the ones that won were ones that she had just grown in her garden. I don't even think she'd been trying to do those for the show. They just happened to look really good on the day.
Exactly. So that's what I was saying about Tahiti and Replete. That's the ones that I just grew in the ground, and they were nice on the day, so I just randomly went and just cut some stems. Yeah, so it just goes to show you, you don't have to do fancy stuff. You just have to know what you're doing with growing your stuff, if that makes sense. But I can't wait to see how you're doing. This is going to be really exciting. I'm actually proper excited about this year. It's going to be good.
And that is something that you can actually do as well, is just sort of on the day, go around your garden. If there's daffodils that are, or like whatever kind of flower you're wanting to show, but if there's daffodils that are looking really lovely, like you think they look in really good condition, then you can cut them to take as well. If you're wanting to take part, time to plan is now for what you want to grow, and maybe order them. If you are going to take part, if you've got a specific variety that you would like to grow, maybe get them soon because they could sell out. In October, that's when we do the planting. There's actually a workshop at Saughton Park in Edinburgh where you can go along and plant and get experts' advice and things like that. I think that would be amazing, so I'm going to definitely go along to that, along with Eli, Kate, Mags, and hopefully lots of others. I think it's going to be so much fun. I think one of the best things about it for me is going to be meeting all these different people that just love doing the same sort of stuff, and hopefully I can pick their brains a bit. And then, well, so when you go along there, what you do is you put your, once you've planted your bulbs, you put them into what is called the plunge. Now, I'd never heard of that, but I'd watched Eli's video and it looks to me like it's a big sort of empty-ish raised bed, probably with a wee bit of compost underneath. Then you put the pots in and then cover it with, I think they cover it with sand actually. So cover it with sand, and then it stays there in the darkness under cover until February. This will be when the fun really starts, because that is when, once they come out the plunge, that's when you've got to start sort of watching what they're doing, like trying to get them to come along at the right time, because you want them to flower for the 4th of April. You want them to be looking their best. So that is going to be the hard part, I think, is trying to manipulate it, because I think it's almost like if they were coming along too quickly, you would probably put them in the shade or a bit cooler, and then if they are coming along too slowly, you would probably want to put them more in the sun. It's even if you're too far away and you can't do it, I think it would still be fun to have some sort of like wee grow along and see how everybody gets on. That's a challenge to see if we can have something flowering on that day as well. But the 4th of April, that's when you go along and do the staging, and I'm sure there'll be people there to help and things on hand. And then the 5th is the actual show, and people can come and there's lots of stalls. And I think even if you weren't like showing anything, it would probably be a really good day out. I think the real aim of this video and Eli's video and then Mag's and whoever else is taking part is to get as many people doing it as possible. Anyway, I am so looking forward to it. I can't wait to get started. I'm not wishing summer away, holding on to the last wee bits of summer, but I can't wait. I just know it's going to be so much fun. It's going to be really nice, I think, as well, to have things to do at that time when maybe you don't have as many gardening things on. I, for one, miss doing gardening stuff. It's really nice to have something that will keep us all going. Even being able to keep in touch with each other, maybe comparing how things are coming along, that'll be amazing, I think. And I'm going to share as many videos from start to finish as I possibly can. Hopefully it'll encourage other people to want to take part in this sort of thing. But yeah, there's going to be lots of videos coming out from all of us, like Eli and Kate and Mags, over these next few months up until probably April when it's the day of the show. Give us something to look forward to through the winter, I think. Go over to Eli's video and then Mags as well. Mags is going to be putting something up discussing it as well. Eli's got one up just now, so go over to Eli's. She's got so much more details than I've got because she's done it before, but last year was her first time and she was able to win, so there's hope for us all. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video. It's something a wee bit different and exciting to be taking part in, so I'll just say bye for now.